Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Library in a Nutshell. Today, I'm going to discuss about collection management. So, let's get started, shall we? So, what is collection management? Collection management refers to the process that influence decisions. It is a process of information gathering, communication, coordination, formulation, and policy making. So, collection management, it is essential for us librarians to require uh, a lot of things in order to make it easier for us to acquire new books and collect them before it was taking for cataloging process. Next is the collection development. What is collection development, you may ask? Collection development refers to the decisions about the acquisition materials. And it is a process of making a certain information in accordance according to events, of course. Next, the challenges of collection development. For starters, target population's knowledge, availability of staff, extent of the data will reflect the respondents. How will you analyze the data and unrealistic result in the survey process? So let's move on. What is the selection and acquisition policy? Selection policy, it omits the references to evaluation. Acquisition policy, it is a process on the mechanics on acquiring materials. So what are the advantages of both the selection and acquisition policy? It assures continuity and consistency. CDP can be used as a foundation for a handbook or manual. Let's move on. Selection refers to the heart of the development process. So selection is the creme de la creme of collection development. That means whether have to select a new book that suits the needs for the librarian of all any types. Okay. So, what are the selection philosophies? Traditional viewpoint, which is continuity, not change. Liberal viewpoint, the need for change. And pluralist viewpoint, combination of both liberal and traditional. In other words, the combination of the previous two types. Okay. Next is the acquisition. It refers to the process of securing for the library collection. So what are the acquisition process, you may ask? There are three. Request processing, pre-ordering, and ordering. And the methods of ordering, well, there are 5 of them. Firm order, standing order, approval plan, blanket order, and of course, the Greenaway plan. Subscription refers to the agreement between the library and the publisher or sender. So, to make it clear, so subscription, for the example of a library, the librarian needs a new book, and they have to find different publishers that suits the best, whether if it's Vibal, CNE, or so on and so forth. So that's subscription based, but it's not the books that the librarian should not be focused on. the librarian should be also focusing on what are the program packages aside from books, whether if it's a digital media or e-learning and so on and so forth. Next is the invoice. We all know invoices is commonly found all over the place in like many business, but here in the library it's the same, but it's a bit different. So invoice, it refers to the written record sent to the library by the publisher or vendor. So that's an invoice that is used for librarians. Next, publishing houses refers to the producers of information. So examples of publishing house, you may ask: Vibal, CNE, Scholastic, and so on and so forth. Publishing refers to the heart of the book trade. So it's not just the selection. It's not just selections, the creme de la creme. The publishing is actually the heart of it. It's the also the creme de la creme. You know what I mean. So what are the functions of publishing? Sources of materials, raise and supply, the capital, development of the manuscript, printing and binding, distribute books, and maintain records of sales. So there are several types of publishing houses. There are trade publishers, specialty publishers, and of course the subject specialty publishers. Next is the variety press, private press, scholarly publishers, government press, paperback publishers, newspaper publishers. Next is the reprint publishers and small press. So I'll start with the trade publishers. Trade publishers, it produce a small variety of titles. Specialty publishers have outputs restricted to the few areas of subjects. Specialty publishers focuses on the limited number of buyers. Next is the variety press, receives most of the operating funds from the author. Next is the private press, basically not project ventures. Scholarly publishers, mostly non-profit organizations, and receive subsidies from the academic institution. For example, the examples of scholarly publishers are Ateneo Press, UST Press, and UP Press, and so on. Government press, these are the world's greatest publishers. So every government has their own press, of course, especially printing books and so on and so forth. Next is the paperback publishers. The most common is Vibal. They are responsible to produce paperback books, regardless of type of book, like textbooks, novels, and so on and so forth. Reprint publishers, focusing on reprinting titles. And then last but not the least is small press, produce a limited number of titles. So those are the types of publishing houses. Now let's move on to the collection assessment. Collection assessment refers to the systematic management of the degree that a collection of the library meets the library goals. So, what are the methods of evaluation? Collection-centered and use-centered. And then, of course, collection assessment involves collection development needs, fundamental needs, and local institution needs. So, what are the use of standards in regards to the collection assessment? The use of standards are PAASCO, PAARL, ACRL, PASI, IFLA, and TLA. So these are the use of standards when regards to the collection assessment. This selection refers to weeding the entire collection. It's a common practice for most libraries, whether they're not used or they're getting old, or so on and so forth. Okay. So, what are the ways of protecting the collection? Preservation, conservation, and restoration, as I've mentioned in the previous episode. So, that's the facts about the collection development. But what are the issues in regards to collection development? Censorship refers to a change in the status of access of a library. Next is the challenged book, refers to a written complaint filed with a library or a school that that regards about the materials to be removed. And of course, copyright. That is very important for us librarians. Refers to the right given to a creator of work to protest their interest. To protect their interest. Sorry. And then, of course, copyright refers to the right of given to a creator to protect their interest. Fair use. It is refers to copying of copyright material. So it depends whether if you're using the original copyright material for uh, other reasons. But if it's not, that would be considered as a violation. So that's about it for the second episode of Library in a Nutshell. Hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you soon.